The night was dressed in silver. The moon floated high above the horizon, painting the restless ocean with threads of light. The waves rolled in, soft and steady, as if they were carrying an ancient lullaby. The wind brushed gently across the sand, making the palm leaves sway like sleepy dancers. "It feels like the whole world is dreaming tonight," whispered Alara, a young girl with curious eyes that always searched for stories hidden in the quiet. She loved the ocean more than anything. Every night, after her village fell asleep, she would wander barefoot along the shoreline, her toes sinking into the cool sand, listening to the whispers of the sea. Tonight felt different. Tonight the sea seemed alive, as though it was calling her. "Come closer, child of the shore." Alara froze. Her heart skipped, not with fear, but with wonder. She looked around, but there was no one, only the waves glittering like melted silver. And then, just a few steps away, something caught her eye. A seashell, lying where the water kissed the sand. It wasn't ordinary. Its surface shimmered faintly with shades of blue and silver, like the moon had poured its light into it. Alara bent down and picked it up, cradling it in her small hands. "Oh, you're beautiful," she whispered. Without thinking, she pressed the shell against her ear, expecting the usual hollow echo of the sea. But instead, a soft voice flowed into her mind. "Alara, I have been waiting for you." Ilara's eyes widened. She nearly dropped the shell. "Did you just speak to me?" The voice inside the shell was calm and warm, like waves rocking a boat to sleep. "Beyond the waves lies a world of wonders. If your heart is brave, I can show you the path." Her pulse quickened, but not with fear. Something deep within her, a longing she had always carried, stirred awake. She had always believed the ocean hid secrets, stories untold, and now one of those secrets was reaching out to her. A world of wonders beneath the sea. She clutched the glowing shell tighter, her eyes drawn to the horizon where the waves stretched endlessly. The voice hummed softly, almost like a lullaby. "Yes, child. Tonight, the ocean opens for you." And as if obeying those words, the water at Alara's feet began to glow. The waves shimmered with soft light, spreading outward, forming a trail across the dark sea. A path of liquid silver. This can't be real. But it was. The ocean itself was alive, guiding her. She turned once to look at her quiet village, the cottages lit only by fading lanterns. Everyone was asleep, safe in their dreams. She knew if she told them, they wouldn't believe her. This was her journey, hers alone. Her heart fluttered with excitement, a mixture of fear and joy. She pressed the seashell to her ear once more. "I'll follow. Show me the way." The shell pulsed with light, warm in her hand. The glowing path across the water beckoned her forward. For a moment, she hesitated, standing between the world she knew and the world she had always dreamed of. Then, with a deep breath, she stepped into the glowing tide. The water was not cold. Instead, it wrapped around her ankles like silk, carrying her gently forward. Each step made the path glow brighter, like stars awakening beneath her feet. So this is how adventures begin, Elara whispered to herself, her eyes shining with wonder. Behind her, the village slept peacefully. Before her, the ocean whispered promises of magic. And in her hands, the seashell glowed like a heartbeat, guiding her into the unknown. That night, Elara walked into the ocean, her destiny hidden within the whispers of the deep. The night sky stretched endlessly above, filled with stars that glittered like tiny lanterns hung by the heavens. Elara's footsteps glowed as she walked across the shimmering ocean path, the water beneath her feet rippling with silver light. Each step felt unreal, as though she had left the world she knew behind. "It's like walking on the stars themselves," she murmured, her voice hushed as if afraid to break the magic. The seashell in her hand pulsed warmly, guiding her onward. Its glow reflected in her wide eyes, filling her with courage. Yet, as she walked further into the open sea, the shore behind her grew smaller, fading into a shadow. A shiver of doubt ran through her chest. What if I never return? But then the seashell's voice came again, calm and steady, like the tide. "Do not fear, Elara. Every journey begins with a step away from what you know. Trust the path. Trust the sea." Her lips curved into a small smile, and she clutched the shell tighter. "You sound wiser than all the elders in my village." The shell responded with a low melodic hum, almost like laughter carried by the waves. The sound eased her, chasing away the shadows of doubt. Ahead, the glowing trail began to shift. The silver light swirled, rising and falling like living waves. From the water's surface, shapes appeared, faint outlines of creatures she had never seen before. Elara gasped softly. Who are you?" The figures shimmered, their forms translucent and fluid. They looked like fish made of light, their fins trailing stars as they swam beside her on the glowing path. The water around her danced with their movements, creating ripples of luminous blue. "You are safe, Elara," the seashell's voice whispered. "These are the moonfish, guardians of the path." The moonfish swirled around her playfully, their glowing tails brushing against her arms like silk. Elara laughed softly, a sound filled with wonder. "You're beautiful, like little dreams swimming in the sea." One of the moonfish circled her feet, leaving a sparkling trail, while another darted upward, spinning like a falling star before splashing gently back into the glowing tide. They seemed to welcome her, encouraging her to walk further. The path ahead grew brighter, leading her toward the horizon where the sea and sky touched. But as she continued, The waves around her began to shift again. The waters darkened just beyond the glowing trail, like shadows pressing against the light. It feels different here. The seashell pulsed softly in her hand. Do not stray from the path. The ocean holds both wonder and mystery, light and shadow. Stay with the glow and you will be safe. Elara nodded, her breath steadying. She kept her gaze on the silver trail, though she could sense eyes watching her from the dark waters. For a fleeting moment, a massive shape moved beneath the waves. Too large to be a fish, too silent to be a boat. Her heart raced. Something's down there. But before fear could take hold, the moonfish darted closer, their glowing bodies circling protectively around her. Their light shimmered brighter, casting away the shadows. Elara exhaled in relief. Thank you. I think I would have been afraid without you. The shell hummed softly, almost like a lullaby. Even the sea's darkest depths can hold gentle guardians. Time seemed to blur as Elara walked further, guided by the silver glow. The path felt endless, yet she was not weary. The rhythm of the ocean lulled her steps. The whispers of the shell kept her heart calm, and the moonfish swam like stars beside her. Finally, after what felt like hours, yet no time at all, the horizon ahead began to shift. A faint golden light shimmered, glowing brighter than the moon's silver. The seashell pulsed quickly in her palm. We are close. The ocean is about to reveal its first secret. Elara's breath caught. She quickened her steps, eyes fixed on the golden glow that rose from the waves ahead. Whatever awaited her there, she knew it was only the beginning of a journey that would change everything. And so, under a sky full of stars and surrounded by guardians of light, Elara followed the glowing path deeper into the ocean's embrace. The silver path beneath Elara's feet began to change. At first, the glow flickered, as though the stars within the water were being gently stirred. Then, slowly, the silver shimmer deepened into hues of gold, as if the moonlight had given way to the sun. Elara stopped, her eyes widening in wonder. It's turning to gold. The seashell in her hand pulsed warmly, matching the rhythm of her quickened heartbeat. You have reached the threshold, Elara. Few have ever walked this far. She tightened her grip on the glowing shell, her steps hesitant but filled with curiosity. The golden path stretched ahead, rising ever so slightly, as if leading her into the very heart of the horizon. The moonfish swam alongside her, but their silvery glow dimmed in the brilliance of the golden waves. They seemed to bow their heads, reverent, as if escorting her to something sacred. Elara's breath trembled. It feels like the ocean is opening a door. And then, as if answering her words, the water stirred. From the golden light ahead, great arches began to form. Not stone, not coral, but waves themselves, frozen in place, glowing with threads of gold. They curved high above her, forming a gateway that shimmered like liquid fire against the night sky. Elara gasped, pressing a hand to her chest. Like the golden gateway. The seashell hummed low, the sound vibrating in her palm like a heartbeat. Beyond this passage lies the deep realm, where the ocean keeps its most ancient secrets. Step forward, but remember, every secret demands courage to behold. A shiver ran through her, half fear, half excitement. She lifted her chin, her eyes shining with determination. I came this far. I won't turn back now. With slow, careful steps, Elara walked toward the archway of golden waves. The air around her changed. Warmer, almost humming with unseen energy. The moonfish glided ahead, their glowing fins leaving trails of starlight as if lighting her way. As she crossed beneath the arch, she felt the world shift. The sound of the ocean grew softer, more distant, as though she had stepped into a dream. The water beneath her feet became smoother, the path shining brighter than ever. Suddenly, a soft laugh drifted through the golden glow. A sound so delicate, so musical, that it sent shivers down her spine. At last, a dreamer has returned. Elara froze. Who's there? From the golden light, a figure began to form. At first, it was only mist, shaped like a swirl of glowing waves. But slowly, it grew clearer. A tall, graceful being with skin like pearl and hair that rippled like liquid gold. Her eyes were deep blue, filled with tides and storms, yet calm as the sea at dawn. Elara's lips parted in awe. You're not human. The figure smiled, her voice flowing like water. I am Narina, keeper of the Golden Gateway. I guard the passage to the deep realm where the ocean dreams. Elara took a cautious step forward, her curiosity brighter than her fear. Why have you been waiting for me? Narina tilted her head, her golden hair rippling like waves. Because the sea remembers every dreamer, and it has chosen you. Few mortals hear its whisper, fewer still follow. But you carry the seashell. That means you have been called. Elara looked down at the glowing shell in her hand, suddenly aware of its weight. Called, but I'm just a girl from a small village. Narina's smile deepened, her voice warm yet powerful. Even the smallest drop can ripple across an entire ocean. Never think you are less than what the sea has chosen. For a moment, silence fell, broken only by the soft lapping of the golden waves. Elara felt something stir inside her, not just wonder, but a sense of belonging, as though the sea had been waiting for her, just as much as she had longed for something greater. What lies beyond the gateway? Narina's gaze grew distant, her voice dropping into a softer, almost secretive tone. The ocean's heart. A place where the tides of all worlds meet. But to reach it, you must pass the trials of the deep realm. The sea does not give its secrets freely. Dreamer, Elara swallowed, her pulse racing. The thought of trials frightened her, but it also sent sparks of excitement through her chest. Then I'll face them. Whatever they are, Narina's eyes glimmered like starlight on water. She lifted her hand, and the golden arches around them pulsed with light. The path beyond shimmered, reading deeper into the unknown. Very swell. The sea will test you, but it will also guide you. Step forward, Elara, and let the deep realm welcome its chosen dreamer. Elara inhaled deeply, clutching the shell close to her heart. I'm ready. And with that, she stepped through the golden gateway. The world around her shifted once more. The stars above vanished, replaced by vast curtains of light rippling through an endless ocean sky. Strange luminous plants swayed in unseen currents, their colors glowing like rainbows beneath the waves. Creatures she had never imagined drifted past, some with wings like jellyfish, others with shells that shone brighter than the moon. Alara's breath caught in her throat. It's beautiful. The seashell hummed softly, as if proud. Welcome, Alara. The deep realm awaits. And with that, her true adventure had only just begun. Alara's first steps into the deep realm felt like walking into a dream. The water wasn't heavy or suffocating. It was weightless, like breathing through silk. Colors shimmered all around her, luminous corals glowing in shades of violet and emerald, creatures with translucent wings darting like falling stars. And above her, waves of light cascaded across the ocean's ceiling like ribbons of dawn. She pressed the seashell to her lips, whispering softly, her voice trembling with awe. I've never seen anything so alive. The shell hummed back, its voice gentle and steady, grounding her. Beauty in the sea is a gift, but also a warning. Every light has its shadow. Before Alara could respond, the world shifted. The glowing path beneath her feet dimmed, and the water around her stirred like a restless sigh. From the distance, 3 enormous arches formed, each glowing with a different light. One red like fire, one blue like the deepest tide, and one green like the heart of a forest. The seashell pulsed in her hand. The trials begin. To walk the deep realm, you must pass through 3 gates: the trial of fear, the trial of heart, and the trial of truth. Each will test not your strength, but your spirit. Ilara's pulse quickened. She hugged her arms around herself, fighting the nervous shiver creeping through her. Fear, heart, truth. The first arch, the one glowing red, flickered like a heartbeat. She felt it calling to her, pulling at the corners of her courage. With a shaky breath, she stepped forward. As Alara crossed the red arch, the world around her changed instantly. The glowing corals went dark. The vibrant creatures vanished. Darkness swallowed her whole, thick and suffocating, until even her hands before her face were invisible. Her chest tightened. She gasped for air, though there was plenty. Hello? Is anyone there? A voice echoed back, not from the seashell, but from the shadows themselves. You don't belong here. Her heart lurched. More voices joined, circling her, whispering her deepest fears. You're too small. You'll fail them all. The sea will swallow you whole. Alara pressed her hands to her ears, but the voices seeping through her like icy currents. Her body trembled. Tears stung her eyes. For the first time, she felt like a little girl lost in a dream too big for her. But then, the seashell warmed in her palm, humming softly, steady as a heartbeat. Fear is a shadow, Alara. Face it and it fades. Alara closed her eyes, sucking in a deep breath. I'm not nothing. I came here because I dared to dream. The ocean chose me, and I will not turn back. Her words echoed, stronger than the voices, filling the darkness like a spark of light. Slowly, the shadows pulled back, and a faint silver glow spread around her, chasing away the fear. When she opened her eyes, the red arch stood behind her, fading into mist. She had passed, Elara wiped her cheeks with the back of her hand, a nervous laugh escaping her lips. One down, I think. The second arch, glowing blue, shimmered ahead. Elara stepped through it, her feet light though her chest still thudded with leftover fear. The water shifted again, and this time she found herself standing in a memory. Her village, her home. She could see the cottages, the lanterns glowing faintly in the windows, hear the waves lapping against the shore. Her breath caught. Home. Then, she saw her mother standing by the window, her face tilted toward the sea. The image was so real, so warm. It made Elara's heart ache. She reached out, her voice breaking. "Mama?" But as her fingers brushed the image, it dissolved into water, slipping through her hands. The seashell vibrated, its voice gentler than ever. The sea asks, "What do you carry in your heart? Will it weigh you down or give you wings?" Elara fell to her knees, clutching the shell. Tears welled in her eyes. "I carry my love for them, my family, my home. That's why I'm here. I don't want the ocean's secrets for myself. I want to keep them safe. Keep the beauty of the sea alive for everyone." Her words glowed in the water, swirling around her like waves of light. The image of her mother smiled faintly before fading, this time with peace. The blue arch dissolved into sparkling mist. Elara stood, wiping her tears, her voice steadier now. "I passed. I think I really passed." The last arch, glowing green, pulsed before her. Elara hesitated. Her heart thudded heavier than before. The seashell's hum was softer now, almost waiting. She stepped through. The water cleared into a mirror-like surface, and staring back at her was herself. At first, it was just her reflection, but then it spoke, its lips moving with a voice colder, sharper than her own. "You don't belong. You think the sea chose you? No. You chose to run away. You're a dreamer, nothing more. And dreams always fade." Elara clenched her fists. She wanted to look away, but her reflection's eyes held her still. She whispered to herself, her voice trembling but growing stronger with every word. "I am a dreamer. But dreams are where courage begins. Dreams are where hope lives. And hope never fades." Her reflection cracked like glass, shattering into streams of glowing light that flowed into her chest. The green arch vanished behind her, and the path ahead glowed brighter than ever. The seashell pulsed warmly, its voice proud. "You have faced fear, heart, and truth. You carry them now, not as burdens, but as strength." Elara exhaled deeply, her shoulders relaxing, a quiet smile spreading across her face. "I made it. I really made it." Ahead of her, the golden light gathered, forming a bridge that stretched deeper into the ocean's heart. The trials were done, but the true journey was only beginning. Elara stood at the edge of the glowing bridge that stretched deeper into the sea. The trials had tested her in ways she never imagined. But now, the water felt lighter, as if the ocean itself had accepted her. She pressed the seashell gently to her lips, her voice a trembling whisper. "I did it, didn't I?" The shell pulsed, its tone warm and calm. "You did, but the ocean holds more than trials. Ahead lies the abyss, where its ancient guardians dwell. To walk further, you must earn their blessing." Elara's breath caught. Guardians. The word alone felt heavy, like a secret whispered through centuries. The bridge faded beneath her feet, and Elara drifted downward, carried by a slow, spiraling current. Darkness thickened around her, not frightening this time, but vast, endless. The deeper she sank, the quieter everything became, until even her heartbeat seemed too loud. She whispered to herself, her tone soft but trembling. "It's so quiet, like the sea is holding its breath." Then, faintly at first, shapes began to appear in the shadows, immense silhouettes, moving with grace no land creature could match. Fins as wide as sails, eyes that glowed like lanterns, voices that weren't spoken, but rippled through the water itself. "Child of the shore." Elara froze, her breath hitching. 3 massive figures emerged from the abyss, their forms woven of coral, starlight, and current itself. They were neither fish nor human, but something between dream and tide. The seashell pulsed in her hand. The guardians. The first guardian swam closer, her body sleek and silver, her mane flowing like ribbons of tide. She circled Elara slowly, eyes glowing like twin moons. "You have faced fear, child. But the ocean is not only shadow. It is movement, change. Can you flow with it, or will you resist?" Without waiting for an answer, currents surged around Elara, pulling her in all directions. She spun, gasped, flailed, but then she remembered the seashell's hum, steady, like a heartbeat. She whispered, closing her eyes, "I won't fight the current. I'll follow it. I'll trust it." She let go, and instead of sinking or breaking, the current lifted her, carrying her in a graceful spiral. Lyra's laughter rang softly, like ripples on calm water. She learns to flow. The second guardian appeared next, his body darker, larger, like stone carved from the seabed. His voice rumbled through the water, making Alara's chest tremble. "The ocean is weight, pressure, power. Can you bear it without breaking?" Suddenly, the water pressed down on Elara from all sides. Her lungs tightened, her body shook as if the sea itself wanted to crush her. Her eyes widened with panic. I can't." The seashell pulsed sharply, whispering in her palm, "Breathe with the sea, not against it." Elara closed her eyes, inhaling slow and steady, imagining the ocean not as an enemy, but as an embrace. The crushing weight eased, not gone, but bearable. When she opened her eyes, Kalen's massive form hovered before her, silent for a long moment. Then, with a rumbling, he bowed his great head, she does not shatter.
The last guardian drifted forward, her body adorned with glowing coral branches, each one teeming with tiny, shimmering life. Her eyes were gentle, her voice a soft whisper, woven with laughter and sorrow. The ocean is not only vast, it is alive. Can you honor it? Not for what it gives you, but for what it is. As she spoke, schools of fragile fish swam around Alara, their bodies like sparks of light. A delicate seahorse brushed against her hand. For a moment, she felt the life of the ocean all around her. Fragile, beautiful, endless. Her heart ached with love. She cupped her hands gently, letting the tiny fish swim freely through them, her voice trembling with emotion. I don't want to take anything from you. I only want to protect you, to listen to your whispers, to keep you alive. Sarah smiled, her coral branches glowing brighter. Then you are worthy. The three guardians surrounded Alara, their voices weaving together like tides, currents, and storms in harmony. Fear-faced. Weight endured. Life honored. You walk not as a trespasser, but as one of us. They raised their massive forms, and beams of light streamed into Alara's chest. Warmth filled her, heavy yet freeing, as though the sea itself had stitched a piece of its heart into her own. Her eyes shimmered with tears as she whispered, overwhelmed, "Thank you. I won't fail you." The seashell glowed brighter than ever, its hum now filled with power. The abyss has given you its blessing. Now, child, the true path awaits. Alara floated in silence, her heart racing, but her spirit calm. She had met the guardians. She had been chosen. And though the depths stretched endlessly ahead, for the first time, she wasn't afraid. She smiled softly, whispering into the water, "The ocean's whisper is no longer strange to me. It's a part of me now." The abyss opened, welcoming her deeper. Alara drifted forward, the glow of the seashell lighting her way. The darkness of the abyss softened, giving rise to a hidden wonder. Before her stretched a garden unlike any she had ever imagined. An abyssal garden, where coral towers shimmered like starlight, and kelp swayed like dancers in a silent waltz. Tiny fish darted between blossoms of glowing anemones, their scales glinting in the soft blue haze. Her lips parted in awe. "It's beautiful." The seashell hummed gently, as though it too was soothed by the sight. Every part of the ocean has its song. Listen closely, child, and you'll hear it. Alara closed her eyes. At first there was silence. Then, slowly, faint notes began to emerge, the hum of water rushing through coral tunnels, the tinkling sound of shells brushing one another, the faint giggles of tiny shrimp. Together, they formed a melody, ancient and tender. She smiled softly. It's like the ocean is singing me to sleep. As she wandered deeper into the garden, the melody grew richer.
A school of luminous jellyfish drifted by, their tendrils glowing in rhythm with the song. Elara reached out, her fingers brushing against their gentle light. They pulsed in reply, adding a soft harmony to the ocean's lullaby. The seashell whispered, "The abyss does not roar, it sings. Those who truly listen will never be alone." Elara's heart swelled. The weight of fear she once carried felt lighter, replaced by warmth. She knelt beside a cluster of coral, resting her hand against its surface. The tiny creatures living within tickled her palm as if welcoming her. "I hear you, and I promise I'll never stop listening." Just as she prepared to leave, a soft glow bloomed before her. From the coral emerged a small pearl, perfectly round, radiating with gentle light. It drifted into her hands, humming faintly like a heartbeat. The seashell pulsed in recognition. "The garden gives you its gift, a song captured in stone. Keep it close. It will remind you of peace when the tides grow stormy." Elara cradled the pearl against her chest, whispering with gratitude, "Thank you. I'll carry your song with me." With the pearl glowing softly at her side, Elara swam onward. The abyssal garden faded behind her, but its melody lingered in her heart, calming her spirit as she journeyed deeper. Elara swam gently into a passage where the water felt heavier, as though carrying secrets too old to be spoken aloud. The glow of her seashell flickered softly, guiding her toward an ancient wall of stone covered in shimmering seaweed. "These are the echoes of forgotten tides," the seashell murmured. "Here, the ocean remembers." Elara placed her hand against the stone. At once, faint voices surrounded her, whispers of sailors long gone, laughter of children who once played by the shore, the quiet prayers of those who looked to the sea for hope. Her eyes widened, but she felt no fear. It's like the ocean has kept every story safe. The voices did not frighten her. Instead, they comforted her, like lullabies woven into water. One whisper lingered longer than the rest, soft and warm. "Be brave, little dreamer. The tides walk with you." A gentle current wrapped around her, carrying her forward. She smiled, her heart light. "Even the ocean believes in me." As she swam on, the echoes faded, leaving only the sound of her steady breaths and the pearl's quiet hum in her hand. The memory of the voices stayed behind, like a promise she would never be alone in her journey. "Rest easy, Elara. The ocean's song is with you." And with that comfort, she drifted onward into the glowing dark. Elara followed the soft pull of the current until the water ahead began to glow in colors she had never seen before. A coral garden stretched before her, each branch swaying as though it were breathing with the sea. Tiny fish darted between them, weaving trails of silver light. "It's so beautiful," she whispered, her voice carried away by the water. The coral seemed to answer. A low hum rose from the garden, deep and steady, like the world's oldest lullaby. The sound wasn't just heard, it was felt, echoing inside her chest, quieting
every fear. She floated among the corals, and for the first time she truly rested. The water cradled her like a soft blanket. Her eyelids grew heavy, her heartbeat slow. Is this the ocean singing to me? The seashell pulsed warmly in her hand.
Yes. The sea hums for those who listen.
A playful school of fish circled around her, weaving patterns that looked like ribbons of light. She laughed softly, the sound blending with the ocean's song. You're dancing with me, aren't you?
Yes. The sea hums for those who listen. A playful school of fish circled around her, weaving patterns that looked like ribbons of light. She laughed softly, the sound blending with the ocean's song. You're dancing with me, aren't you? The hum of the coral grew softer, like a mother's voice at bedtime. It seemed to say, "Rest, little dreamer. Tomorrow will bring new tides." With a deep breath, Elara closed her eyes. For a moment, it felt as if the whole ocean held her in its arms. The fears of storms, shadows, and whispers faded, leaving only warmth and peace. Good night, Elara. Sleep within the ocean's song. When Elara awoke, the coral garden was quiet, glowing faintly like a fading dream. She stretched, rubbing her eyes, and clutched the seashell close. The water around her had grown darker, but ahead she saw a distant light, soft and golden, swaying gently in the deep. What could that be? She whispered, her voice blending with the water's hush. As she swam closer, she found a giant lanternfish resting in the sand. But unlike the stories she had heard, this creature was not frightening. Its eyes were kind, and the glowing orb above its head shone like a lantern in a traveler's hand. Are you lost, little one? The lanternfish asked, its voice warm as a bedtime story. Elara nodded. I'm searching for the ocean's heart. Will you help me? The lanternfish gave a slow smile and dipped its head. Then follow my light. It will guide you where shadows cannot. Swimming beside the lanternfish felt like walking beside a friend holding a candle in the dark. The deeper waters no longer seemed so frightening. Every flicker of the lantern warmed her spirit. Thank you. I don't feel afraid anymore. The seashell glowed faintly in her palm, echoing her heart's calm. Together they drifted through the deep, the lantern guiding her like a promise of dawn. Soon, little dreamer, the lanternfish said, the ocean will reveal its heart to you. Elara smiled softly, her eyes shining with wonder. Then let's keep going. And with that, they swam onward, the golden glow lighting their path through the endless sea. The lanternfish guided Elara through the darkest part of the sea. The silence there was heavy, but the golden glow of the lantern felt like hope itself. Then, ahead in the distance, a shimmering light began to grow, soft at first, then brighter, until it filled the water with a glow like dawn breaking beneath the waves. It's beautiful. Elara breathed, her eyes wide. They entered a vast chamber carved by the ocean itself. At its center floated a crystal, glowing with every shade of blue and silver. It pulsed like a beating heart. The water around it was alive with warmth, humming softly, like the coral's lullaby, but stronger, deeper. This is the ocean's heart, the lanternfish said gently. It has waited for you. Ilara swam closer, the seashell in her hand trembling with light. When she touched the crystal, it sang, a soft, endless song that filled her soul. I can feel it. The ocean's love. Memories washed over her. Waves, laughter, whispers, the peace of dreams. The heart wasn't just the seas. It was every lullaby, every comfort, every dream that had ever cradled her to sleep. The lanternfish's glow dimmed, but its smile lingered. Now, little dreamer, you carry the ocean within you. Wherever you go, its song will follow. Tears of joy shimmered in Ilara's eyes. She pressed the seashell to her chest, listening to the steady hum. Then I'll never be alone again. The chamber brightened once more, then slowly faded into calm darkness. Ilara drifted back, the glow of the heart now inside her. Rest now, Ilara. The ocean will guard your dreams. She closed her eyes, her breath steady, her heart calm. The ocean sang her to sleep, its whispers promising peace forever. Good night, dear dreamer. May the waves of peace carry you gently into slumber. And may your heart rest easy beneath the stars. As you close your eyes, let go of the worries of today and drift into a world where only comfort, wonder, and calm remain. Sleep well, and may the whispers of the night guide you to the sweetest dream.